Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Gabatur. I'm here with Dr. Sharif Ibrahim, and we have another great video for you. This time, we're going to be talking about how blood sugar damages your body. In past videos, we talk about that concept of the cell letting sugar in or not letting sugar in. And Sharif, let's get into this. What's happening and how are people going to be able to control this?
Thank you very much indeed, Chris. When sugar gain access to cells, that is good because it's going to give us energy and vitality. But when entrance is denied, then this is a big problem. Why? Because sugar is going to stay outside cells and is going to accumulate in the bloodstream. And that is a dangerous situation. Why? Because glucose makes bonds with proteins and fat in the blood. And this gives a compound known as advanced glycation product. The abbreviation is AGs, which is an indication of a process of damage that happened, and they call it glycation or rusting. And this is exactly what happens. Sugar causes rusting of tissues when its level goes high in the blood.
This is the beginning of some major issues. We talk about aging and other issues with this. If this isn't controlled, this high blood sugar really does begin to wreak havoc on the body. So what are some of the manifestations that this can cause?
Yeah, the best example of sugar damage is accelerated aging. It damages the skin and causes wrinkles, and it damages the hair and it causes graying of hair. And the combination of the two is people age or they have accelerated aging. So that's one of the commonest things. But it can also damage the immune system, because as the immune system, we have got immune cells in blood, and we have got immune proteins as well. And sugar damages both the cells and proteins, and makes people prone to infections, like water infections is a sign in patients who are coming with diabetes for the first time. Things like the eye, high blood sugar can damage the eye. And one of the very important damage happens on the lens, because the lens has got a protein on it, and sugar damages this protein and make it to become opaque. And this is actually is known as cataract. It's a very common condition, and many people actually they assume this is part of the aging process. It's not part of the aging process. It's a glycation damage happened due to high level of sugar. This is easy to resolve nowadays. You can take the lens out and you can put an implant visual lens in place, which is going to correct the vision. High blood sugar can cause damage of the back of the eye, which is more serious. And the damage can happen in the blood vessels of the eye. It can block some of the blood vessels, and it can cause hemorrhages. You can see white patches due to blocked blood vessels, and this happens due to lack of blood supply. And you can see hemorrhages, which is another sign of diabetes. It can damage the kidneys, because the kidney has the ability to stop sugar coming through the kidney. Because the blood sugar has to reach a certain level. They call it the renal threshold. This is in our English measures, 10 or more. In the American sugar measurements, it's 180. When the sugar goes too high, then it goes through the kidneys. And by doing that, it damages the blood vessels and it damages the filtering units. So many patients, we end up having loss of the kidney function, and many of them eventually they need regular dialysis. This is really a serious problem, which is happening just because we have high blood sugar. The limbs actually have got blood vessels and you have got nerves, and high blood sugar damages the blood vessels and stop the blood supply to the limbs, just like the leg and the foot. And it can also damage the nerve supplying that. We call it peripheral neuropathy. And the blood vessels damage, we call it peripheral vascular disease. The combination together can result in leg ulcers, gangrene, and in acute ischemia, when the blood vessel is completely blocked and there is no more blood supply to that part of the limb.
It's important for everybody to know that some of this stuff that Sharif's talked about is extreme when you're getting into a situation where your limbs are in a problem. But this is how disease works. It goes from just eating something that's a little incorrect, and then you had a little bit of a mild setback in the day, and then it becomes chronic, and it manifests. It grows within itself.
I think you touched on a very important point. The earlier examples I gave, they are extreme examples, but also it can result in very simple things. One of the things that can happen with high blood sugar is headaches. It can cause headaches. It can cause migraine. In ladies, it can cause PMS, premenstrual symptoms. These are all can happen due to high blood sugar. It causes many damages in the body, but it also can result in depression. So how high blood sugar gives depression? It's very simple. The fluctuation of sugar ups and down, you get a spike and you get like a crash. This fluctuation can result in the fall in the serotonin, which is the happy hormone. And it also causes decline in brain drive neurotrophic factor, BDNF. This is like an antidepressant factor. And the fall in serotonin and the BDNF factor, then it can give depression. It can also give anxiety, because you see this fluctuation in blood sugar can eventually break down into a series of stress responses, which can trigger or exacerbate anxiety.
So Sharif, I guess the big question is, how can they get tested? How can they find out where their body's at, and how can they reverse the issue if they are in peril?
If you would like to measure how much sugar damage in your body, it's a very simple test. It costs about 20 pounds. And this test is called hemoglobin A1C. When the level is less than 5.5, then you are okay. The damage is not that bad. But when the level is between 5.5 and 6.4, then you have significant sugar damage. And this range is consistent with prediabetes. When the level reaches 6.5 or more, this is diagnostic of diabetes. So that is really a very high level of sugar problem. Why this test is going to be very helpful? Because this test is going to give you an estimation of your blood sugar control over the last 3 months. It's going to check the percentage of the red cells damaged by sugar. Red blood cells live for 120 days. And that is going to give us an indication about the fluctuation or the control of blood sugar over the last 3 months.
Well, Sharif, as always, this information is absolutely fantastic. You should definitely be taking time to help yourself with this sugar issue by having better food choices. Thanks again, everyone, for watching the video. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care. Sharif and I appreciate you liking this video, and more importantly, remember to subscribe to this channel. There's a lot of content that we're going to be creating, and we don't want you to miss a single second of it.